You've felt it before. That half second where you're drifting off. Warm, heavy, almost gone. And then your whole body jerks, like you missed a step that wasn't there. You wake up for a second, heart going, wondering what just happened. Nothing happened. You were just falling asleep. It's called a hypnic jerk, and it happens to almost everyone. Researchers estimate somewhere between 60 and 70% of people experience it regularly. Some people feel it as a small twitch in one leg. Some feel their whole body lurch like they've missed a stare in the dark. Some even see a flash of imagery right before it happens. A falling sensation, a sudden drop, sometimes a dream fragment that vanishes the instant the jerk wakes them up. One of the first scientists to actually study it seriously was a sleep researcher named Oswald, back in 1959. He was watching people fall asleep in a lab tracking their muscles with electrodes, and right at the edge of sleep, that exact moment where the body starts to let go, he kept seeing the same thing. A sudden involuntary muscle contraction, sharp, fast, full body, not a dream, not a nightmare, a reflex. Your brain wasn't malfunctioning, it was checking something. Here's the leading theory for why. As you fall asleep, your brain slowly powers down the systems keeping your muscles tense and alert. Your heart rate drops. Your breathing slows. Your muscles let go one by one. But there's a part of your brain, the reticular activating system, that's still half watching, monitoring the transition even as everything else winds down. And for a fraction of a second as your muscles go slack all at once, that half-watching part reads the sudden drop in tension as something else entirely, falling. Not metaphorically, literally falling. So it does the only thing it knows how to do in that situation. It jolts you, hard, fast enough to catch yourself before you hit the ground. Except there is no ground. There was never any falling. Your brain just ran its oldest emergency protocol, on a body lying safely in a bed. Some researchers think they know exactly where that protocol came from. Long before beds, long before floors. Some of our ancestors likely slept in trees the way many primates still do today. And falling asleep in a tree came with an actual physical risk that has nothing to do with dreams. If your muscles relaxed too much, too fast, you fell. For real. From a height that could genuinely kill you. So a reflex may have evolved to catch exactly that moment. The instant muscles go slack, fire a jolt, tense everything back up, just in case gravity was about to become a problem. It's not proven the way a law of physics is proven. It's a theory pieced together from behavior we still see in other primates, and a reflex that doesn't otherwise make much sense in a species that mostly stopped sleeping in trees a very long time ago. But it's the best explanation anyone has, and if it's right, that reflex outlived the trees completely. It's still running tonight, on your mattress in your climate-controlled bedroom, doing a safety check for a fall that hasn't been possible for your entire life. Here's the part that makes it worse, or better, depending on how you look at it. Certain things make the jolt more likely. Caffeine late in the day. High stress. Not enough sleep the night before. Intense exercise too close to bedtime. All of these keep your nervous system more wound up than usual, which means when it finally does start to power down, it's dropping from a higher place. Think of it like tension in a rope. The more slack you suddenly give a taut rope, the harder it snaps when it finally goes loose. Your nervous system works the same way. The more wound up you were, the bigger that drop in tension feels to the part of your brain that's monitoring it. And the bigger the drop in tension, the more likely your brain reads it as a fall. Which means that jolt that scared you awake at 11 p.m. wasn't random. It was your nervous system telling you, in the only language it has, that you were more strung out than you realized when you laid down. There's one more piece, and it comes from a completely different system. Some researchers think the vestibular system, the part of your inner ear that tracks balance and motion, plays a role too. That system is working constantly while you're awake. Every step, every head turn, every shift in position, it's tracking all of it, feeding your brain a steady stream of here's where you are in space. As you fall asleep, that stream slows down and eventually goes quiet. No motion, no orientation signals, nothing to track. And a system built to constantly monitor, am I upright, am I stable, doesn't always handle silence well. Losing the signal can, for a fraction of a second, get misread the same way. As a loss of balance. as falling. Two ancient systems watching from two different places in your body, both built for the same job, both occasionally making the same mistake at the exact same moment, which may be part of why the jerk can feel so sudden and so total, like more than one alarm went off at once. You've probably heard a theory about this that has nothing to do with any of that. Low magnesium, low potassium, some kind of mineral deficiency your body is supposedly warning you about. It's one of the most repeated explanations online. And there's no solid research actually backing it up as a primary cause. Hypnic jerks show up in people with perfectly normal blood work every night for their entire lives. They're not a deficiency alarm. They're not your body sending you to go buy supplements. They're a nervous system reflex, not a nutrition label. It's a good example of how the internet will hand you a tidy, actionable-sounding explanation over an honest one, because take magnesium feels more useful than your ancient nervous system briefly confused your bed for a tree branch, even when the second one is the one that's actually true. It's also not limited to nighttime or to your own bed. People report it during naps on a couch, on a train, head against the window. In the 10 minutes they weren't planning to fall asleep at all, sitting up in a chair. Wherever the drop into sleep happens fast enough, the same mechanism can fire. Because the reflex isn't tracking whether you're in a bed, it's only tracking the sudden change in muscle tension wherever it happens. Which is also why it can catch you off guard more when you're exhausted. You fall asleep faster when you're running on empty, which means the drop in tension happens faster and steeper too. A bigger, quicker signal for that old system to misread. So if it seems to happen more on the nights you're most tired, that's not a coincidence. That's the mechanism working exactly the way it always does, just triggered a little harder than usual. So here's what's actually happening. Every time it startles you awake, nothing is wrong with you. Nothing failed. An ancient part of your body, older than beds, older than roofs, older than the idea of sleeping somewhere safe, is still doing the job it was built for. Checking one more time that you're not about to fall. You're not falling. You're just the first version of your species to ever sleep somewhere the ground can't reach you. Your body hasn't gotten the memo yet. Learn something new? Hit that like button, share with others, tap subscribe, and watch this video next.